Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. I'm always happy whenever I am able to take the time to do these readings because lately I've been a little busy, but still, I'm glad to be back. So, for the people that are new, I use Egyptian Cartouche cards, meaning they do have the symbolism from ancient Egypt. So I do appreciate the accuracy of the message when it comes through. In that case, they do have small hieroglyphs in the corners of the cards to contain the potent energies within. So I like to keep it simple by just using this deck. It feels more respectful that way. So today I'm going to be reading for Capricorn. Great. I'm going to channel Capricorn. Capricorn, that was kind of intense. I don't know, when I tuned in, that was intense. I had to take a second. I believe that there are quite a lot of planets right now transitioning through Capricorn. I believe that was 5. Okay? So I'm going to do the 5-point star spread facing you. I'll explain what each aspect of that reading is as I'm, progressing forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Interesting. All right, let me just move this a little bit back. I'll move myself a little back too. So before I start, I do want to introduce this amulet that I brought. I always bring new ones in different readings. So this one is Kuan Lin. Kuan Lin is the goddess of mercy. She's the counterpart of Mother Mary in mainland Asia. And so she is here. Thank you, Kuan Lin, for the message. So the nature of the problem, situation, or question that I have here in point 1 of the star spread is scarab. Scarab is basically the dung beetle, but it was more sacred than that name because of the fact that this insect was able to carry these heaps of dung and roll them into almost perfect spheres over a length of time and even space. So it was thought that the scarab was the counterpart of the sun in that sense. So here, what I'm getting for the nature of the problem, situation, or question is, kind of like the longevity of a project or whatever it is that you're working on at the moment, Capricorn. It's almost like a question of, am I is the pacing right almost? That's almost like the specific question that I'm getting for the nature of the problem or situation is, am I stepping forward at the right pace, going through it in my own time as I should to make sure that this follows through? Okay. And so here, and reason for asking is reverse crook and flail. Now, crook and flail is mostly associated with the pharaohs, and that is because there is almost this distinct symbolism in each hand that the pharaoh was holding. I'm not going to go into that, but I'm just going to focus on the fact that to be a leader, to be the pharaoh, it was the balance with the north and the south, that the above and that the below were in a balanced state to be able to lead the people. So in reason for asking to have it in this kind of way, the message that I'm getting is an internal and an external situation. So the reason for asking is you're almost it could be this lack of self-esteem. This lack of self-esteem to lead. The reason for asking is maybe there is some doubt of, understanding where you are in the situation because you don't have this control that you're seeking. And also another message that I'm getting is that there are external factors that is very leaning to the ego, to the ego side of going through the journey. And what I mean by that is that there are some jerks. There are some jerks. And they're not jerks because they were born jerks, but they do jerky things. And this might be the reason for asking, is that not only is there something inside doubting, maybe there are external factors that are provoking this doubt because of the kind of like the lack of balance that it brings to the environment. So the reason for asking is that lack of balance either internally or externally. Okay, and in factors to be considered, we have Osiris. Osiris is the god of corn, the god of life. Osiris is daddy. He gives us what we want. He likes to spoil. So the message that I get in this case, in factors to be considered, is a very interesting one because it's something that is very hard to pinpoint with words. Okay, so because of that, I'm going to go ahead and whip out the book. I do like to use this book because understanding the different counterparts of the gods and goddesses, sometimes it's nice to have the consistency of words so as to just kind of limit the message that it can go towards. Those of you that know bibliomancy, thank you. You understand. Okay, so unreliability is one of the factors in terms of this message. In this possession, it can represent a attitude of delusions of grandeur and holier than thou attitude can be implied. Questioning the motives of oneself and others. Okay, interesting. So because of the fact that, this one is the dad that likes to spoil, in this case, this is almost like I would kind of say disappointed dad, but I wouldn't say disappointed, more like the firm dad telling you to slow down. And in this case, I was able to perceive that the message can be that there are certain motives to be asked or questioned, not just because it was said in the book, but, as I'm getting the firm dad feeling, in that case, there is almost like telling you that there is a certain time period at this moment to stand guard, not in a defensive way, but where you're observing, using that in account so that you may stay silent until it is the right time to say or even do. But that is also a specific message that I'm getting in factors to be considered. All right, so just to review, the longevity of a project for a situation, this understanding the balance within ourselves or in our external environment, making sure that we take the time to observe our surroundings and understand that there are certain motives within ourselves and the ones outside of us to be put to the test. And lastly, I wouldn't say lastly, we have one beautiful one more. the advice, interestingly enough. Like, so the overall theme that I'm getting is that there is some aggravation. There is an aggravation of an imbalance of some sort. And I'm saying not just any little imbalance, it seems to be really affecting to the point where it's stirring the surface and it's even stirring the depths of your waters. Because so Earth is stable. To have this is the message of kind of an earthquake, almost in the sense where there is a drop that keeps dripping until there is the last one that, spills the cup. So in this case, there is an unhealthy give and take. Earth requires a compromise so that one can reap the benefits. But in this case, it does not reflect that. There is an imbalance of give and take. So the advice is understanding your role in the giving and the taking. So are you the giver that keeps giving, and yet there is no balance in what you can receive? Or, it can be vice versa. So there is a call to evaluate the giving and the taking, the balance in the relationships that you have and the one you have with yourself. Okay, beautiful. And here we have for the conclusion is Ankh. And interestingly enough, the country where I live in Ethiopia, so they actually accept this as a Christian cross. Really. So the Ankh is the symbol of this is a key to eternal life. So it's almost like it's almost tying all of this in, using this really aggravating, frustrating moment to get stronger in the process of moving forward. You will then be able to get a better understanding of the life that we live. Beautiful. Okay, that was amazing, Capricorn. So I usually do a jewelry pick where I have 3 pieces of jewelry in the bottom, and you usually pick one specific to that. I have a message. Let me know in the comments if you want me to bring that up. But in the meantime, that was such a fun reading. I really do hope that the longevity of your project keeps pushing through and that there is that balance that you're searching for. Okay, Capricorn? Thank you so much, and may peace be in your journeys. Until next time.